Oh, I need to make sure I'm in focus. I forgot to. Hello. Oh, took a picture. Great. Thanks. Welcome. Hello. My name's John Lemcool. And it's the 1-year anniversary for Unify. 1 year ago today, I made the video saying, this is Unify. So, happy birthday. All right. Thanks. See you later. Bye. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry for being a couple minutes late. It's been very busy. There's the little graphics I made quickly. On top of all of this, there's all sorts of crazy political stuff happening here in the United States. And let's see if I go over here and say Lightroom. I can show you something else that is happening that is exciting. Let's see, come over here. My daughter is moving to San Francisco and starting her life in school. And I'm driving her to San Francisco starting tomorrow. And we just picked up the U-Haul. So let's see. Well, I won't show you the photo, but there's a photo I took of her standing in front of the U-Haul, in front of the car. We'll respect privacy and all that stuff, of course. So how are you doing? Happy birthday to Unify. What were you guys doing 1 year ago? Oh my gosh. So the plan is to kind of talk a little bit about where we have come from. I think the best way for me to keep track of that, I need to get MailChimp up and running so I can look at newsletters. That's the way that I kind of follow along with things, is I can kind of show where I didn't get things set to the point to where I have like a version of old. I do have some older photos I can show. Check this out. When I showed Unify the first time, it was at Super Booth in Berlin. Was it March, I believe? Maybe it's May of 2019. And let's see if we go screen. Oh, Lordy. This is going to be nigh impossible to find because there's just so. Let me see if I can find this really quick. Give me just a second to. Here we go, into the screenshots. There's this ESC. Lots of Omnisphere libraries being made. Let's see, let's do this. That's 2018, so this is gonna take a minute. 19. Probably in August, I was starting to show pictures of what we're working on. Let's see, I'll find it. It's really funny. So yeah, that's a little bit farther along. It gets even older. There we go. Now we're getting into the early days of Unify. Let's see here. Let's see if I find a good one. Also, lots of videos of Wave State, because I was working on Wave State at the same time. Here is what Unify looked like in March. When was this? This was May 18th of 2019. At this point, it was just Shane and myself. I hadn't sent, so the gentleman that does the artwork at my website, a guy named Matt Chowski, super talented gentleman that I have worked with for many years, probably at least 6 years. And so we sent him this, and then he created, let's see if I can find, he had an even more aggressive with better curves and all sorts of stuff. And this is the best we could implement for now. The graphics, at some point, we will do some sort of an overhaul to give it that, you know, sheen and stuff like that. It's just not a priority to us. Our priority is functionality, getting you cool things, giving you visual feedback of what's going on, but not with like 3D buttons that are bouncing around and doing unnecessary things. So it's a little on the simple Stark side, but we're proud of it for what it is. It serves what it does, I think, pretty well for people. People are pretty happy overall with how easy it is to work with. We have done 3 major updates that have come out. I was going to go look through the list of all the mail I've sent out. My goodness. Let's see. Now that's just a CloudCity. Oh my gosh. Oh, so much stuff. So let me follow the stream for a second. What are you guys talking about? I can show you a little bit more about Discover Station. We are almost done. I've been doing knob assignments for like a week straight to get everything programmed so that here you have a piano with orchestra using 4 BBC symphony orchestras, and you can turn down and have just cellos if you want. And then bring in the violas, the violins, and the basses. And then the way it's set up, this 5th patch is the piano, and it's actually using Combo Box. It's using Guru Sampler. This is one thing that we just brought out at the end of last year with our 1.2 update. Combo Box is an effect that lets you load any of your effects and make complex, more than one plugin patches that fit in one layer if you want. And so this has 2 different, it has both the intimate piano and then the velocity switching of the Steinway Church piano from Pianobook that I licensed for the Unify. Plus it has JX10, which is a really cool, totally capable just have it doing a little warming in there. Just in there a little bit, really tasty that way. If you want, click right here, go to your favorite instruments, say you want to play with Kontakt. So see, here's Kontakt, say load up Kontakt, load up a favorite piano, whether it's Keyscape, whether it's Noir, maybe it's the Grand, or there's all sorts of pianos that are great. Here, we'll just call up, this is a really quick example. So here I've replaced the piano. They always have it such a conservatively soft volume, so let's bring it up here a little bit more closer to 0. And it's still loading. So you can load any plugin you want into any slot in Unify. That's the power of it being, it's a host plugin that can load all of your plugins, but we're using it as a synthesizer so that we do voicing. My job I've done for 30 years since I started with Korg in 1988 was voicing. And so I voiced the wave station, the wave drums, all the Korg from the M1 forward, even to Wave State. And Wave State even licensed samples that are also found in Unify. So we have all sorts of things going on in here. Check this out. This is really pretty. This is Flutes in Paradise. Normally, these big sample libraries are for film composers that make a template with 800 layers of different things that they can choose from, and then they have to build whatever they want, one track at a time. And it's a skill that is incredible, and God bless them, but these patches can be used for far more than that. So I'm using it as the basis of a synthesizer to do all sorts of things. This is a wave sequencing example with multiple things of strings and brass and woodwinds. And then let's layer some synthesizer parts with that, and it gets even more interesting. Boom. And then you can even get more complex and add drum grooves and all that kind of stuff to it as well. And then you have so taking this concept of a host plugin, but making it a host that does the most. Because we're programming it and voicing the daylights and finding new ways of using sample libraries. Yeah, the Discover Station is a $50 library from Spitfire Audio if you're not familiar with it. And I'm using that to load up this one. Unify inside of Unify, which is another unique thing we can do, has 5 layers for, I believe this is the spiccato section. We've got the brass and the strings doing their different things, as well as the brass doing also the for full notes so that they're ringing out. And to go from this to immediately pushing a button where we're playing phrases, where you just play one finger and because Unify had an update back in the day that included this little wonderful piece of golden, just wonderful. MIDI box is a MIDI file player that can transpose the MIDI file across the keyboard. You can assign real-time controllers to change the velocity, to change the speed of it. You can even do things where you make a stack. So by doing this as a stack, that means there's actually 2 different files in here. So if you check this out, this is playing major. When I spin this goes to the minor. Major to minor. So totally different MIDI files. We've got drum grooves, we've got percussion grooves. The reason that we brought out MIDI box was to make the library called CloudCity, which if you don't own Unify, it's included when you buy Unify right now for 4 more days. You got 4 more days to take advantage of this. But with this, we're using MIDI box to play all whole songs. I mean, we're loading, in this one example, I pushed a button to load 11 different plugins that all have audio effects and delays and loudness optimizers, drum grooves, drum samples. And transpose it, so I can go to G. So it's crazy. You can go to the percussion grooves. There's all sorts of places to go, like, let's see, BPM perk. These are single grooves where you can call up something like the cajon and play. What's fun with Unify, also you can right click and say load this into Unify as a new layer seamlessly. So we can build grooves on the fly. Clave. And a lot of these have a pattern set to knob 8. So if I go over here and I spin knob 8, see how it's changing the pattern? It's changing that to all sorts of different things. Here's velocity. So the ability to do that kind of stuff and go, oh, I want to add a drum groove to this. So go to the MIDI box, drum grooves, and say smooth, add that, and go to, there's 3 hip hop kits in this library. So we go. Then go to bass part, say we're gonna have some sort of cool bass line. It's fun. So we've added all these things over time to Unify, from where we started. Look at this way. If you go here to tags in Unify, I date by the updates where we've added new patches. Let's see here. Oh, CloudCity didn't exist. Go to the Unify standard library. At 1.4, I added just some split patches. Right? I gotta follow chat. Shane's not here today. On how many computers can you activate CloudCity? You get 5 activations for libraries, 3 activations for Unify itself. Oh yeah, Unify with our adventure would be fun. Hey Shane! Shane made it! Wow! Happy anniversary, Shane! Look at your baby. So 1.04 was the first update that we did. we were so naive a year ago. My gosh. We did things differently. And we quickly changed our ways to simplify the installation of Unify to where it's really easy now, thank goodness. But back in the early days, it was challenging. But the first update came with, you'll notice there's no rhythm. It's all just splits because we had the blue ARP, but that was all we had for any kind of musical interactivity to. But the next update, 1.05, was still just an update. I discovered latch mode, and I'd done some more research with it, where in the factory voicing, there's these latch patches, which are really fun if you haven't tried these. The concept is that you play a note in the left hand, take your hand off. And because these parts are latched, they sit there and sustain. And then you can just play in the right hand all you want with both hands, sustain pedal. And because it's mono-latched, Omnisphere has a latch mode, but you have to play the same note again to stop it, and then play the new note. We have a mode that's different called mono-latch. We also have polyphonic latch, which is what that is. But with mono-latch, you just play another note, and it cancels the other note and plays the new note. So if you're doing live performance, latch mode is super cool. All sorts of fun capabilities can happen because you can lock the note for any of your plugins to play different rhythmic parts for you to play and jam with. It's super fun. You can also get really carried away. Some of these like, let's see, let's turn this off because I made some other ones and I don't think I tabbed. It's like the meaning of life. This is one that loads up, looks like 6 layers, 1 note. You get all that. So instead of everybody playing the same note, they're playing the elements of a chord. Gotta turn off. So if you haven't tried latch mode, it's super fun. The other thing I explored in voicing in this little update at 1.0.5 was the power of having something like 8 different layers, and then going in and we added a lag parameter in this update that let us slow down the speed of changing the modulation of either the modulation wheel assignments here or of pitch bend. And as you can see, I have pitch bend, even when you're going down on this one layer, it's going up 2 octaves. And this other layer, when you pitch bend down, it goes down 12 semitones. This one, it goes up 24 octaves. So you can change it up and down plus or minus 4 octaves. So you play a note and then move the pitch, the modulation, or yeah, this is pitch bend, right? So go down and you get a THX effect. And hear how it slowly goes? That's because of lag. Go up, it goes to a chord. So pitch bend down and up can actually be different chord types for one lead sound if you want. And if you wanted, you could use macro knobs to go in and choose each instrument layer, go to Guru Sampler, go to pitch, and say this one here, I want it to go up 19, and I want this layer here to go down 2 octaves. So just, you could do this to all 8 layers if you want, but where did I assign it to? What did I assign it to? I did to, here. It's doing pitch LFO too. Let's see here. At 1.012, we had BPM Blue ARP. This is where I started doing the, we brought up Polybox with 1.012. That's right. Polybox let us take monophonic synths and make them polyphonic. And it also made it so that we could play a note and have it so it changed from the layers with just playing a note. So it's playing 16 layers. Blue ARP is giving notes, and then each time Polybox gets a note, it goes to a different MIDI channel, and each of these layers are a different MIDI channel. So starting to get more into rhythm, but 1.1 was the biggie that brought out MIDI box. So now we can play one note Now we can go to the next step with MIDI box, where instead of being a single note, it's now playing the note, and I can play chords. And play whatever I want. So it takes the rhythm of the MIDI file that you play, quantize it however you want, feel of whatever you want. You can add drums to it so you get everything all together, and let's see, not 146, let's say 120 beats per minute, right? So this was the reason that we brought out MIDI box and jitter box, was for the fun things we could do here so that I could build the library CloudCity. So CloudCity was a library based on the concept of lots of MIDI files, drum maps for drum kits, new drum grooves. There's all these BPM split things that are really cool, song ideas, BPM pads that are super cool, all this BPM stuff, so much rhythmic fun stuff in CloudCity to play with. But like box hop, you just play one note after it loads. And you gotta slow it down. And it's transposing parts. Or chill on guitar beach. This would be a little bit faster tempo. And MIDI box is letting this all be possible. And we got control, real-time controllers, reverb. We got drums. Kick volume is up in the drums, so you can have that go away. And And up top on high C, this starts and stops the drum groove. So you have the ability to have a groove when you're ready, play high C, play along. So all the effects and the updates and the things we've added to Unify, the reason to add them is to give us the ability to make libraries that do more than what we could do before. And that's something we've started that we will keep doing through the coming year. We have all sorts of crazy plans. If you don't own the Discover Station library from the BBC, from Spitfire Audio, that's a I think it's $49, $50. That, Unify, and then the Discover Station library that we'll be releasing probably, we're within like 2 weeks, I think. It just depends on our update. We want to get Unify, this update out. We've done a lot of things to Unify. I'll talk to you in a minute about some of the updates that we've done to Unify that are really nice. Let me see the stream really sure. We don't do release dates. Yeah, we talk approximate, but it's all contingent on it being that we feel confident that it's ready to be released. But it should be soon. We're getting very, very close. We're working really hard on seamlessly loading. And there was something that we had to deal with, and that's, I keep saying today. Stop it. The LoudMax effect. It's our only plugin that has a small amount of latency, and it's enough that it was stopping things from being seamless. And so we've decided to do something kind of interesting and different than you've probably, well, it's not worked like this before, but see over here, we've added a B for bypass button to the master effects. What happens when you load a Unify layer into Unify on a new layer, it loads in the instrument, the auxiliary, and the master effects. And it would be doubling up on the LoudMax limiters and compressors. And because of the LoudMax little latency thing, it couldn't be seamless. And so what we do now is say we want to load up the Dream on something. We got this playing. We want to load Dream strings. Load this into a new Unify layer. Seamless. Because this has been bypassed. The master effects section is bypassed. If you want, you can go in, turn it back on. But for the most part, it's not needed. And it allows us to be totally seamless. That's how we... Now, if you load your universal audio effects and save it into a patch, that can't be seamless because there's big latency in certain effects. So if you have specific effects that you load into Unify's master effects that have latency, that has to be, it's two separate timelines and they have to be synced up, and there's no way to do that gracefully. So now when you load a new layer, whatever you load, say we want to load a kick into no pitch shift, so we have if you look at the Unify layer, the master effects are bypassed. So it hasn't made any, from what I can tell, it's fine. We'll get feedback from you guys. Maybe this can be an option. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. It's just if you're relying heavily on the master effects and you're putting tons of delays and effects in here, this will cause you to think about how you use master effects, because it's really for just giving you the ability to do mastering to the sound and loading it as a Unify layer. If you want, you can load it into the layer, save it, and go in and bypass it and then save it, and it's now saved with it added. It's just the process of every time you add into Unify as a new Unify layer, it will do this. I think if you load and just say load layers into current patch, it works the same way. It just doesn't double the master effects because there's only one master effects. So it's the same result as what it would be like when you loaded into layers. So that's a modification that we've done to get things to be seamless. So we can load it all up. Whatever we load, no clicks. I can even go to Discover Station. Let's go to the BPM strings. Let's go to a rhythmic string thing, say load into new unified layer. And I loaded. So you can load the parts, they work just fine. You can't tell the difference. We're doing the voicing. We're making sure that we're not using like tons of level or something like that on the compressor. This is a lot of the work I'm doing now, is just make sure everything works with this new kind of operative, because we want seamless loading is so important to us. Does bypassing in the layer inside another Unify? Yeah, anything you bypass that's not being needed, bypass means it's not engaged. We're not calling up the DSP instructions for it to work. Right, yeah, in the past, sometimes bypass, well, mute is typically where something is still engaged, but you just don't hear it. So if you mute the part, that's one thing. If you come over here, we don't have a bypass on the instrument layers, which maybe someday we will, I don't know. But when you add up audio effects, if we go to these Unify layers, I believe some of these have effects that have a bypass. When you bypass, it takes it off the DSP load. So it frees it up so that... So it's so fun to be where we are. Unify is at the strongest and most capable that it's ever been at, because we're refining and getting more ideas. The Discover Station library is going to just totally mess everything up in a really cool way, because to be able to push a button, load up all of the, I mean, this is the BBC Symphony Orchestra into MIDI box and jitterbox. Here we go. There's 5 different layers. Stuff like that. I've been working a lot on getting new piano key combinations. In fact, I need to make some the rhythmic stuff, but this has fast strings for playing the, and there's 16-foot, and then 8-foot is the octave up version. Oh, I should show you Copeland. This is really cool. This is kind of like something I did for like the Korg T series way back in the day, where oh, this is just the brass by themselves for the, okay, check this out. Take that, add timpani. We had to do our own Piatti crash to make this work right, and Let me turn off my microphone because I'm really hitting the key. And it's by velocity. So when you play really hard, you get the crash. When you play soft, you get timpani and brass. We've done combinations like this in Korg products for years. So things like that can be really cool. This is using, here's 6 and 5, so there's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 layers of brass, timpani, piate, and if I wanted to, I could simply go down to the strings and say I wanted to add these piccato strings to this, to a new Unify layer, and it adds a layer which has all 6 of the strings. They're actually a little loud. So it's one thing for somebody to spend half a day sequencing to get a sequence that can... It's another thing to play it in real time by clicking a button and it's there. It's really, really exciting. So our goal is to release Unify's next update, 1.2. Probably 8 or 9. And then we can have the green light for releasing Discover Station. I could go, what's crazy with this, I could go to an empty layer. This is why we love Unify, and it's so groundbreaking once you get to where you think this way. Add a new layer, add a new plugin. When you do this kind of stuff with any other synthesizer, you're dealing with the limited resources of that synthesizer. And what is so groundbreaking and so liberating is that I've loaded Kontakt, which can play hundreds of voices of polyphony, and it has no bearing on the other sounds that are playing other than just the CPU usage. And because each layer is on its own CPU thread, just like that, you've got to... And as soon as I've signed off on this, we're going to start converting this into the Core Station library. And as soon as we get that done, it will be included with the purchase. When you buy the Discover Station, it will come with the Core Station library. That's if you own the core version of the BBC Symphony Orchestra, which has different, more samples, more round robins, more samples across the keyboard, all that kind of stuff. So, that will be added. We will probably look at adding other sample libraries that you guys, there's a, on our forum, the Plugin Guru, it's forums.pluginguru.com. If you go here, there is an area, I can't remember exactly where the topic is. Simeon started something on converting libraries it's here somewhere. If you want, write an email to us at unifysupport@plugandguru.com, and we can help you find. Just look for Simeon. I can't remember what the name of the theme was, but he asked about this, and we're gonna open it up. Please check in before you do any conversions, just because if somebody else has already started, you don't need to duplicate the conversion process. But if other libraries are converted to use the MIDI files and the mappings, is really what Unify is providing. The samples are coming from the BBC Symphony Orchestra or from Unify in some cases here for some of the sounds that you're hearing. Kind of a cool synergy to have that option available. But I can see this coming out for some of the other sample libraries that are an orchestra in one library. Those exist. So, oh, Simeon, yeah, that'd be fun. All right, so another library I'll show you just a little bit about to get you excited is a library we're doing for Vital. This is going to be a hoot and a half when we get done with this. If you don't know about Vital, it was definitely the synthesizer of 2020 because it was free, or you could spend, I would suggest if you can, show support by buying either the subscription or one of the other library, the versions that give you more wavetables and more presets. But it's a really cool synth. I haven't updated. They have an update that now fixes it so it shows the actual correct preset names. It's so cool that they've released that. But we can basically, this will be a dance, pop, EDM, urban, all that kind of stuff library. And let's see if I go over here. Why don't I have drums? Let's see, where's the drums? Kick. That's right. Oh, the map is wrong. So it's got to go to the, let's see here. Critical maps. We have here drum kit. There. By the way, if you do any edits, you need to quickly save. You can just hold down Option or Alt and click Save to update the patch. That doesn't work for factory libraries or for CloudCity or like Big Bad Beats. Any of our libraries that are licensed, you need to first save the patch to your own library, and then after that, once it's in a .unify format, it can be just quickly saved like that. Let's see here. There are some other grooves that we're working. See if these play up. These are some of us. I'm working with a gentleman by the name of Saif, and we're doing a. So if I wanted to, I could now right click on these. Add, let's say this to a new Unify layer. Bottom note, play C. There's all sorts of crazy patches that we've been making for Vital, so that's going to be really fun. Lots of cool basses. These are all samples that I did. Because we're going to be doing stuff where, yeah, we got a few minutes we can play for a minute. Any questions you guys have? It's so great to be at 1 year. Gotta tell you, it's a lot of work. We gotta give our shout out for Shane. He has been at this for a year, more than a year, like 2.5 years. Shane, the man. because the Guru sampler is actually code that Shane built for the engine inside of a couple iPad apps that are in the hands of hundreds of thousands of people. Then we've modified it since then. So if you take the time that he took to build this and then build everything that is inside of Unify, I haven't written a single line of code for everything you see. This is 100% Shane Dunn's, using Juice as the platform, but it is he that has put it all together and gotten it to where we can seamlessly go right click and load. So the dude, especially to show up today, he had a doctor's appointment. I'm so glad he made it. Shane, you're the dude. So I was gonna, let's see if we do this. Let's try to build some sort of a cool wave sequencing thing. So we need to go a new MIDI effect layer. Let's have a MIDI box, and we need to go to critical V. I don't know if I have any files in here. I did put some bass. So, and then hit 1 so that it's connected right over here. Let's double time it. Right here are multipliers. So if you say 2, 1, and then we're gonna go over here and add polybox, which is right here in the creative. And we're gonna leave it at a pool size of, let's say 8, because we're gonna eventually get to have 8 layers or something like that to see where it's at. But let's bypass that to start with, because we need to go over here, our MIDI channel right here, that's all we need to set to 1. And then let's go over here and say duplicate next with 1 MIDI channel, turn off polybox and say just 2. So it's going back and forth between the 2. So the second layer, let's go to Guru Sampler. It does this sometimes where it doesn't show the samples, which is really a problem, but we're fixing that, right, Shane? Go like this, and go. Let's say duplicate another layer. Tell polybox to be 3. And go over here. Oh, got it, good. So it's playing this pattern between 3 different parts. You can say new layer, Guru sampler. Let's go to the drum kits. Let's go super pop. And then right here on this layer, let's go over here and add MIDI box to it. Let's go to the Unify standard library. There's a folder for super pop. So let's go with super pop grooves, and let's choose like twerk you. Yeah. Let's see what's going on. Okay, it's playing right. So we want to set it just to play only. So everywhere I play on the keyboard, it plays and doesn't transpose. If I put to key transpose, for drum grooves, you want it to be play only. So it plays only the notes that are sequenced. And then I can change. That's what we're kind of looking for. But let's take it up in tuning. Let's put a cool compressor on this to give it some shape and personality. So we'll go over here to dynamics, enforcer, bring down the threshold, bring up pump it. Yeah, that's good. Turn everybody down, then pop the drums back up. Let's make one more groove element or one more bass element. So we go over here, next MIDI channel, and let's tell Polybox to be up to 4. See, as I change the number of layers, I change Polybox so that it knows to distribute. And I can even click random so it doesn't, because without random on it, it's cycling. And if I say to chords auto retrigger, it starts at the same place every time. If I don't, each time I play, I kind of want it to be auto retriggered. So we set it to 4, and the 4th one is right here. So let's change its order. We can now click and drag to change the order. And instead of this being another groove sampler, let's go to Vital. So we go to my favorites where I've made my list of my favorite synths. You can do the same. All you do is go over to this little tiny list. This is where you kind of have your subsets. And you click the thing that says favorite instruments. And this is my favorites. I could select all, remove. And then you could go down the list, say, I want to add that, I want to add that. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Hit save, which I'm not going to do. But then you would update this file to have your particular set of favorites. If you click right here, you can change between audio effects, MIDI effects. Audio effects is cool. You could go to the delays and have it list all of your delays. Update these. These are just based on the effects on my computer that I made these presets. That doesn't reflect what you have on your computers. So spend some time. You can type here reverb or rev, R-E-V sometimes, because so many things don't use reverb for the names. Z-Rev. If I said I don't know if it show up or not. R-E-V. Yeah, see? Now it has to match reverb, so R-E-V goes away. So using short R-E-V will show more options than saying reverb. So do things like that, but you can update all these subsets for right here in the middle, for the updates right here. These are subsets to help you organize your plugins on your computer. And I have a lot of plugins. I buy a lot so that I have a lot so that I can try to make those lists have as many as possible, but I don't buy everything. And so some of you guys have way more plugins than I have. So make sure you take some time to do subsets to get that right? Let's go to Vital. And let's go over here to the Plugin Guru library, Critical V. Now, what if I wanted that to be the first step? What if I wanted to bring this all the way up here? All I have to do is change the MIDI channels. So have this one be 1. Let's say I want this one to change to 2. I'll keep this one at 3 and make this one go to 4. And then I'll change the order around so I don't go insane with sing things. But you can change the MIDI channel. Right? Oh, no, I want that to be the second one. So put them on MIDI channel 2, put the one on MIDI channel 2 to MIDI channel 1. You've changed the order. Right? So these types of things, here, I'm going to save that because that's kind of a fun start. So we'll save it to Critical V, BPM, wave sequence is what I call these. 1 year of fun. As a BPM. It'll be a split. So it might be called BPM split in the end. I don't know. But save as save. So we can now do wave sequencing. Each layer can be any plugin you own. You can do the craziest, coolest, beautiful things. If you go to the standard library and you type in WS up here, that will give you these wave sequence patches I have made as templates. So you could call up something even like some of the simple ones like Sequence Silk. Okay, this is all these parts. And I made a layer for each of the timing events before it repeats. So that way it repeats the cycle every time. That's the rule. If you want a wave sequence to be perfectly synced, then you count how many timing events is in your MIDI file for the measure or two measures. You have up to 16 steps because we only have 16 MIDI channels. You know, at some point, we're talking about doing something on a bigger scale than this, but right now we use MIDI channels and you have 16 available. So you can't go da-da-da-da-da-da and do bullets and have 42 steps right now. Sorry, but it can do 16 steps. And if I slow it down, maybe for that downbeat, I want it to be, go to my favorite instruments, I want it to be a patch from Vital. So I can go over here and say Vital for that. And change it to be anything in the list. So let's call up a plugin guru patch. We've got some kind of cool big synth sounds in here. So we go over here to synth. Let's have the second one. Let's have this be favorite instruments, Hive. Turn it up. Cool. So you can use any of your plugins distortion, go to distortion. The MDA degrade is really cool. And even with 11 parts going for a crazy wave sequence, you can still go to any of the libraries you own, any patch that you've set up yourself with any of your battery grooves or Kontakt grooves. I'm just gonna go to some I created for CloudCity. We could Noisebox 3 remix, load this. Boom, loaded. And I could add more easily. Just go over here and say box hop. So it's a kind of power that's very addicting. It's wonderful we have multi-core processor computers, so something like this is possible. Hey, Stefano, good to see you. Welcome. Guys, so Stefano has been converting his Arturia 0G library to Unify. I don't have Arturia installed quite yet, but I've seen Stefano on his live stream. He's done a live stream a couple times showing Unify working, loading up all these Kontakt instruments with all these incredible samples. Female vocalists doing these beautiful things. If you're into creative guitar lines, so much cool drum grooves. It can be plugged. What's great is whatever somebody does could just automatically be plugged into Unify, and now it just gets added to the database. I could go to Omnipulse, call up something from Omnisphere. Let's say Happy Plucky. Say, let's load that into a new Unify layer. Takes it a second because I haven't loaded Unify. There it is. And you go, I want to add something else. You can keep adding to it. Let's go up here, add a pad. At some point, I'm going to run out of processor power. But what's so fun, each Omnisphere is on its own separate core, so you're not going to run out of CPU power. I mean, it's just nuts. Go to Beautifully Broken. Just find a cool synth sound or guitar. There's some really cool distorted guitars in here. Where is it? Tormented Bluesman. So, it's a whole new world. Unify is opening up all sorts of fun doors. It lets all of your plugins join together, and it's very liberating. So I'm so happy we are at this point with our little baby. We have all sorts of cool things planned through the year. Anyway, thank you. I need to actually sign off and go help my daughter pack up her belongings. We're driving to California. She's got roommates and the whole life at a school to start. Vital freaking out. I will also be doing a video pretty soon. I'm going to show you a tip, and then I'm going to put this into a video slower. But there's a couple other things we've added really cool. The macro knobs is where it gets to be just this crazy, stupid God power. And we've added the ability now, when you go to each instrument and you say mix level, it knows it's a level and it will automatically set it properly so that if you have your mix exactly how you want it, and you go down the list, you can do this for unlimited parameters. So we're gonna do this to all of the first wave sequence parts. So we can take the wave sequence in and out, right? So instrument, I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4, so 5 mix level. I'm gonna show you a trick. First of all, we can type in the modulation sources instead of having a point. So I'm gonna replace, actually I'm gonna say copy, because we have, wasn't there, how many wave sequence parts? There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11. So watch this. I'm going to make 11 modulation sources from this. Just by going like this. 1, 2, 3. I need to make this 4. So we say backspace 4. And then we can say paste by adding a link from the clipboard. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then go through each one of these and change that 5 to 11, and boom, 5, 10, and it's not doing it the way is it? Yeah, it's showing the current value and it's showing the curve is the assigned value that it's at. So for each one of these, you could click this to get it back to where it was for the mix level. So 10. So if we go 9, that's where it's supposed to be. So click your max. 8. So by typing in the number 8, 7, I'm setting it up so 7, 6, and that's right there. There. So this is knob number 5. So for 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, double click, call this wave sequence volume. See all these? It's changing the volume now. Let's go to this one for the drums. So we'd say instrument, BPM drum, all those drums here. So we say mix level, and I'm gonna do it this way so it grabs the actual volume of each level. See how it's grabbing it and making it automatically set. So that way drums, mix level, that's that's BPM synth. So hit the little X, we don't need that. So this can be the drums. And then this can be the wave sequence parts. So go instrument, BPM synth. So we'll call this 1, instrument, BPM synth 2, mix level. So when you choose mix level, it automatically sets it so that the level that you're currently at, and this is the wave sequence synth. So we'll say omnisynth, right? Omni. And then this is the guitar. So we'll say blues guitar. And option and click is a shortcut. You can also just get here by going like this and say linked parameters. And then we just go to the last instrument, tormented man, mix level, boom, done. So crank these up at max, and this will equal the mix that it was at to start. But now I can take out the synths, wave sequencing, just the guitar and drum groove. So really quickly, you can take a complex mix, set up so you have control over it. For live use, this kind of power is just nuts. And then you assign to real-time controllers. So you can reassign with the knobs. So much power, insane power. And if you have to do repetitive steps, I worked with Shane, so we've got it so that you can double click and say, I want this to control the mix level of whatever you want. Or if you really know the parameters of your synth, you can say such things as, cutoff or change it to resonance, and it will grab that parameter just by going here and saying, let's say I say, auxiliary 1 level. See, I didn't name it right. So it goes, you didn't do it right. So we have a little bullet over here. We're gonna go replace, go to, let's say it was instrument 4, 2, 3, 4, auxiliary send 1. There, that's the proper name, and it turns into a green link. So when it's right, it's green. If it's wrong, it's red. So you can tell what it is. We even have a command over here to say remove all invalid links that will take anything that's red and get rid of it just like that. So we've done some cool things. Even if you change the order of these suckers around now and put things into different places, Shane keeps track. He has it smart so that it's able to keep track of everything that you're moving so that still works. right? Sorta. We'll look into that. Anyway, it's so fun. So, any questions? Do you guys have any questions on all this stuff we can do? Because the real-time knobs is actually something I haven't talked a whole lot about, and it's the secret weapon of Unify. Because if you look at this list, check this out, my friends. Every plugin and every parameter of every plugin. If it's Unify, you'll see it as a list of up to 32 macro controls. We will in the future have the name that you assign to those macro controls will show up here, as well as saying macro 1, because it doesn't give you enough information here yet, but we'll fix that. That's just software updates, more code for Shane to write, right? But you have access to all of the parameters of whatever you've loaded into Unify on the knobs. So you can change parameters of things you normally can't get to. It's like all the automation lanes, now it can be done in real time. Really fun. All right, I appreciate all of you guys. I will not be here for Saturday live stream, I'm sorry. Yes, the power of the knobs is crazy. It's very addictive because you have curvature and you have multiple breakpoints. So I have examples where it's doing like something like this, and then all of a sudden it jumps up to here, and it's like this. And this way you can have it like transpose like 3 octaves on a knob, right? Like this. And it just steps from one to the next to the next to the next. So it's not just a linear assignment like every other synthesizer on the planet. You can call up Hive and then use these real-time knobs to have certain things happen. A lot of times resonance is great when you get up to here, but at the top level you want it to come down a little bit so the sound gets sweeter. So you can say, I want to add resonance from an instrument, say it's a Guru sampler or Hive. Let's go over here to where is the filter resonance. And you want it to be curved up like this, but when you get right here, I want it to come down to here, and I want it to be this shape like that. You can do this in Unify, but you can't do that in Hive. So that you can have a real-time knob that as you move through the parameters, it will do these steps and do whatever you need it to do to the sound so that it gives you the result that you need for what you're trying to do. It's just the most insane power of any modulation source I have ever worked with. So we don't have as many tools as I want to like invert, just push a button and it inverts it, and we'll get there. But just the concept and how it works with the layer system is really, really cool. So I thank you for your support. Thank you for joining us for this special celebration. Oh yeah, I'll fix the video description. There's it says free audio thing for texture granular, link says $7. Yeah, I'm sorry, some of the things that were free, I need to make sure that I let's see. Yeah, granular textures, it was free. They were free last year for a while. I think the Pianobook is always free. The binaural family grand is free. Winter Voices. I think the 75 Echo Soundworks samples are still free. I think. I need to double check. I'll modify the video description here as I clean up after the video is done. But yeah, I had to get here quickly from helping my daughter move, so sorry if things aren't totally organized the way they should be. But I just wanted to celebrate. It's 1 year. It's been a great year, and I can't wait for this coming year. We've got AAX support around the corner. We've got audio output options as a paid premium upgrade around the corner. We have other things that are just mind-blowing around the corner that we'll be adding to Unify this year. There's other stuff in the works that I love to blab, but I am not going to blab about right now. But happy Unified Day, January 6th. Woot! Crazy day. So thank you all. We will see you in a week from Saturday. When I get back, I'll have some stories, I'm sure, from working from an Airbnb in San Francisco for a couple days. Oh, shout outs. Yeah, let's do our shout outs. So shout out from Portland. It's actually kind of not so rainy. Not so. Oh, I do have a freebie. So you guys do your shout outs. Let me find this freebie for you. I found this. A friend of ours, Cameroon, told me, I saw a video about this, and it's really, really cool. Where is it? Did it go to the desktop? Where did it go? I just got it. So if we go, it's a really cool tape thing. I think, do I have it so I can find it here? If I go here and go tape. Chow tape model. That's what it is. Chow tape model is a free, really, really cool tape simulator. Tape model. You can find it. It's a free open source tape saturation. Oh, wait, it's right here on GitHub. Here is the latest installers. So let's go over here to the installation. I'll put this link. Let me show you how this works. So let's take this, go down here, add audio effects. Is it under Chow? Yeah, Chow DSP. You can do tape saturation. You can do a good grade page. I think you can click here to go to different patches. Lo-fi. So here's the link for this. It's really usable, really nice. I was impressed with this. I'll put it in the video description as well. Shout out from Italy. Good to see you, Stefano. William Smith in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went there last year. No, not 2019, May, for the Jazz Fest. It was so fun. Robertson, Chile, Southampton. I relate. Isabella in Stockholm. Sonus in Ireland. Wow. Hello, Ireland. Ciao, ciao from Michael. So this is a really cool, usable, amazing, free tape simulator that can do other things as well. Get gritty. It's just really nice. Here's without it. So it really can give personality. Ooh. Make sure you put Loud Max after it. So that way Loud Max is still brick wall limiting it so that it doesn't overdrive. And then go to all your output levels and turn them down. This is the one challenge with knobs, is that once you've committed the knobs, then you need to control the volume by doing it this way. Because if you move these, and then you go over here and move this knob, it's gonna jump right back to the values that it was saved at. So once you've connected especially mix levels and parameters to knobs, then change settings for volumes and stuff from the knobs so that it's saved and called right the way that you had it set up, right? So there's a cool free plugin. It's in the description, and I'll put it into the video description as well. Thank you all for your support. And the adventure continues. We are just getting started. So more to come. We'll be in touch. There's 4 more days left, 40% off all the libraries at my website and the Unify CloudCity bundle. And it's the only time I have ever done a bundle like that, and I probably won't do it, well, at least for a year. Maybe in a year we'll do it again, but it's a very rare thing. So if you want a little bumper to inspire you to get Unify, if you don't have it, take advantage of that. Thank you all. Good to see you. Be well. And here's to a great 2020.